there are two forms, really, of entitlement. One is quite benign next to the other one. Both are bad. But the first one is simply saying that there's a buffet line and that I get to go first and you get to go second, right? We can't justify that rationally. I just say so. And I probably have a bodyguard, because I'm kind of a pussy myself, but I probably have a bodyguard that's much bigger than both of us, and he'll enforce my decision that I get to go first, right? Or I happen to be the boss and I will fire you if you don't let me go first. Or I happen to be the customer and I'll buy someone else's product if I don't go first, or whatever. That's entitlement, of the benign quality. It sucks, though. The really insidious entitlement is when you actually go to the buffet line at the expense of other people. That is to say, you walk over top of somebody to get to the buffet line. You know, you use someone or compensate their ability to fulfill their own desires and needs in the pursuit of your own. That's the nasty stuff, and unfortunately that's pervasive in our society as well. So to say that we're all equal, I was asked in the last video, how can you say that? We're all different. Our genetic code's different. We are different shapes and sizes. We're all little snowflakes. How can you say we're all equal? I can say we're all equal because we're all equally entitled. That's what I mean, anyway. I think that's what the Founding Fathers meant as well when they were talking about life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. They were talking about the indignation that the colonies had with the British monarchy, British government at the time. If you read the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin, he goes into detail about an exchange he had with the British court and how he was deeply offended by their sense of this is really a pompous attitude that he got from them, this sort of subjugating, though, you are under our thumb, that deeply offended him, so that he joined the little rebels over in the colonies at a time when revolution just was a whisper and any hope of really making it happen into a real country was a fool's errand. But it was enough to piss off Ben Franklin enough for him to say, okay, that's just what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to die doing it, but it would be better than this bullshit. And that's why I'm hopeful, because I'm hopeful that you too have a sense of righteous indignation when it comes to these systems of entitlement. Because you are equal to everyone else in terms of entitlement. So equal, in fact, that the word entitlement is meaningless. It's not rationally justifiable. It doesn't exist. The next time someone tries to intimidate you, that's what they're doing. They're trying to enforce the conditioned, natural, or the conditioned social, cultural expectation of entitlements. And remember, in that situation, that entitlements don't exist. And you'll be surprised how empowering that is. You just remember, you don't have to get back in their face, you don't have to lash back at them, you just remember that entitlement doesn't exist. It's not rationally justifiable. It's just a silly thing that just is loud and it's in your face and you can ignore it. But I can't talk about doing away with money and entitlements without addressing ownership. And it really is a movie unto itself, I guess, so I'll go ahead and say that for a later time. So to leave it off at this point, the reason we're all equal is because we all have equal entitlement. If we're both going down in a plane in flames and there's only one parachute and only one of us has then the chance to survive, the other has certain death, who should get the parachute? Both of us should get the parachute. It's not a practical answer to things. It doesn't solve the problem from a practical standpoint, but it is the correct answer, because neither of us are more entitled than the other, without first impregnating or presupposing some value system that then you'd have to defend on your own and you really can't do without being dogmatic, at least a little bit. Who should get the parachute? Both of us should get the parachute. Only one can get the parachute. Well, then that's a practical issue. I would suppose that people would reduce to their most primitive brain and fight to the death. And the one who wins, we get the parachute. That's the practical answer. But that's not satisfying, is it? They say, well, yes, of course that's what will happen, but what should happen? Both should get the parachute. But no, that doesn't get the answer that I want. I know. I'm sorry. But what that also means, the larger picture, it means that we're all equal in our entitlement. So equal that the word entitlement really has no meaning anymore. So we needn't use it. Next time someone tries to intimidate you, put you in your place, subjugate you, remember that.